Not too long ago, somebody on Miata.net, which Miata.net, in my opinion, is the best online, well, the best source for information, resources, help, tips, whatever, for any generation Miata. Anyway, commercial for Miata.net over. I'm not, don't make money off them. Uh, Somebody gets on Miata.net not too long ago and says one of the spark plugs came out on their NA one, I think it's a 1.6. There's something besides the $200 or $300 you spend on a Time-Sert to fix it. And people are like, well, you can pull the head off and take a machine shop and this and that kind of stuff. You're gonna spend more than $200 or $300. And I posted saying, yeah, it seems outrageous, but it's not really that bad when you look at it, and you can use it again. So I figured I'd make a video about that. So 4 years ago, yeah, almost 4 years ago, cold November day, my wife had a doctor visit way up in Temple, which is 90 miles from here. And we were in the 2003 BMW 525 Touring, my E39 with a manual and the 6-cylinder engine. I got that car just because of some of her health issues. I needed to carry a knee scooter and other things to help her get around some. And it was a great car. It accelerated super slow, but it was a very comfortable cruising vehicle with lots and lots of room. And I found a manual. Near as I can tell, there's less than 1,200 manual Tourings brought in the United States for the whole E39 run. Very few of them. And I found one. It's great. And it had, by the time this happened, 219,000 miles on it. And I've been changing the plugs every, I don't know, 15, 20,000 miles because the thing is using so much oil, the plugs keep fouling out. We're driving along. It's almost dark. We're trying to get to town halfway between. Town of Cameron has a Texas burger. We like Texas burger. Trying to get there before dark just because we want to get home not too late. And got the cruise on. All of a sudden, check engine light comes on. It's like, it must be a foul spark plug or who knows what. That thing just throws code through it. I sold it. It's gone. In fact, I sold all four of the BMWs I've owned in the last 10 years. One's still on the property, but that's because the guy had his truck broke when he was taking the first one away, and he hadn't come back for this one. Anyway, long story even longer. Check engine light came on. We're still cruising along on cruise control. I didn't notice anything. Didn't really hear anything. We're going 70 some miles an hour on the speed limit. As soon as I break cruise, it just drops like a rock down to the speed drops, and I get on the power, and I got to get on the power to maintain 55 or whatever the next speed limit down in town was. Time we get to the first traffic signal, I'm hearing pop, 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 and it's got no power at all. It's barely running. I pull in a Texas burger, get out, raise the hood, and I'm hearing pop, 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 and it sounds like it could be like an O2 sensor came out of the exhaust or exhaust manifold crack, but it's not idling right at all. So I get the scanner out. If you have an old BMW, always drive with a BMW readable scanner. Plug it in, and it says misfire cylinder number 5, cylinder number 5 deactivated. I reactivate cylinder number 5. It didn't get any better. Pop, 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 pop. It was barely idling. It would idle, but barely. Well, it's now dark. It's cold out. Well, 40s or 50s. Not that cold, but cooler than what we're used to around here. Went inside and we ate. I was like, I got some tools with me, but there's nothing I can take apart. We're 45 miles from home, and I don't know what the problem is. I did not think about a ejected spark plug at all. I was thinking head gasket, I did check the coolant. The pressure with the upper radiator hose was solid. Everything seemed okay, but I couldn't figure out what the trouble was without taking things apart. And I was like, I'm not going to do that here. So we ate. And we were going to go home. It fired up. Pop, 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 pop. And we started driving. It was hard. It was, if I got above 2,500 RPM in any gear, it would sound like something mechanically was rubbing. If I got below 2,000 RPM in any gear, it just would lug and wouldn't go anywhere. So I was rolling that shifter. I was pushing us with the shifter all the way, and we were also calling people we knew with trucks. Hey, what are you doing tonight? I forget what day of the week it was, but it was in early November. And we're home. Okay, well, we might be calling you. Well, we got about 45 minutes an hour till we get home, but we might need a tow. Okay. We arranged that. I get on home, and I just let it sit for the night. Next morning, I go out and I pull the cover off of above the coils. This is the coil. Let me go and zoom in. Let's zoom in. Yeah, you can see everything. I cannot find the spark plug. I don't know if I threw it out or sent it back to FCP Euro, but these things are supposed to go down here. Here's the electrode at the end of the coil. Pretty much the spark plug came out, hit the coil. The coil was hitting the top of the cover that goes over things. And the noises I was hearing was the spark plug and this thing hitting and just beating each other to death. So this coil will probably fire, but I'm not sure I want to have that fire coming at me. Again, like the guy, I started thinking about doing this video. Pull the head, try tapping it out again. But the thing is, this is number 5. And number 5, since I'd owned the car, the previous 40,000 miles, every time I changed spark plugs, number 5, I had to use the ratchet. I had to coming out the entire way. The threads were bad. And I tried a thread chaser, and it made it a little bit better, but it was someone had boogered the threads up sometime in the first 180,000 miles of that car's life, and they didn't get any better. So researching Time-Sert, that's the only fix there is. And yeah, it's $200 or $300. Time you get the little insert. This is for a M14 by 125 by 16.8 spark plug. Time you get all these pieces and the kit with the proper step tap. This goes in the spark plug threads, and this makes the new bigger threads. And then you use their fancy tools. Let me put the cover back on that one. And yes, cover this with grease. I used grease. Other people I've read said use Vaseline because it's clear and you can see when you get chips in there. I used to use grease. But as you can see from the pieces on the towel here, I had a lot of debris in the cylinder as it was. So yes, this is the insert tool for putting this thing in. And I did the directions are very simple. I followed them exactly. Used their, I'm not sure who makes this, the Time-Sert thread locker to hold the insert in. And I did all of it. And then I used this Wi-Fi, hook it to my Wi-Fi it to my phone and see what I'm looking at. Where's the end? Get rid of the cable. There it is. This little thingy here, it's got lights on it, and you can put other attachments on here as well. It's got a magnetic piece, which as you can see is pretty dirty. because I used it. That's how I got this out. uh, it's got a little hook. It's also got a little piece with a mirror. You can kind of see the mirror. It goes on the end here, and the mirror lets you look sideways. I did a lot of fishing around with this thing down the hole, but it worked. I was able to retrieve. I used a transmission funnel with a hose on the end to suck as much out as I could. And then once I was done, before I put the new coil and new spark plug back in, I actually started it without the spark plug in there. You just blow things out. It worked. So yeah, I'm gonna put links because I'm a member of the Amazon affiliate program, which means if you follow the link in my description uh, and buy something, I get a very small percentage. You pay the same price. But I got to tell you that. It's going to be written in the description for this thing. But I'm going to put the Time-Sert I bought and my Calvan Wi-Fi Borescope link in there. I guess I'll do the pieces too, the inserts. There's probably $400 sitting here. Well, not counting this. It's another, what, 50 a piece for these coils? Whatever they were. Yeah, it's a pretty big hit for one little bitty repair. But it's cheaper than pulling the head off. And it worked. In fact, a couple of years ago, I did a video changing spark plugs in that engine after this happened. You can see me just break it loose and twist it out by hand. I changed plugs a couple times in that before I sold it. So the Time-Sert works, and it's easy to do. Yeah, you gotta be precise, but it works. And you don't have to have a special different size spark plug. It takes regular spark plugs for the rest of the car. It works. Anyway, I just wanted to show that as bad as my damage was, between the Borescope, a little vacuum, and the Time-Sert kit, the car was up and going as soon as the parts arrived in the mail. That's the whole point. Time-Sert really works. And I was amazed when I got researching that night, spark plug, when I figured out what it was. Honda vehicles throw spark plugs more than the others, it seems. I was like, wow, I never thought of that. And Miatas, or any Mazda, any aluminum head will do it. I was just kind of surprised. Now, between the NGK spark plugs and the Bosch spark plugs in the BMW, I had Bosch's in when this happened. And it has come up on several forums that Bosch's will come out before NGK's will. So German spark plug, Japanese spark plug. It's a German car, whatever. I think my threads were already boogered up before I bought the car. But I did have Bosch's in. And the suggestion online has been on several different forums running Bosch plugs. If you got bad threads, it will pop out. So something to keep in mind. Anyway, hope this helps if you are debating, man, I don't want to spend the money to get a Time-Sert. Yeah, I didn't either. But you want to drive the car again. This is the the least expensive quality repair you can do, and I'm impressed with the repair. I bought the Borescope to check on my work. That's not required. It's a good idea to have, but it's not required. Anyway, the Time-Sert works very, very well. That's the whole point. Hope you enjoy this teachable moment.